fine. I will probably see how it
Yseult chose to play one of the most demanding sonatas, I would think, for the cello. How would you describe the demands of what exactly is making our life not miserable, but
it has to be like a really massive sound, like most of the time.
yeah.
And it's a lot of it's like very loud and very like tiring, and there's also huge leaps for the left hand. Those are and there's lots of kind of mood changes as well, like sudden mood changes.
Yeah, well, the whole piece has a nearly orchestral scope to it, and so a lot depends on indeed getting the full sonority out of cello, and to make it really compete, it's not a good word, but to make really sure that, the power which comes from you is equal to the power which we hear from the piano. And so physically it needs, you can't just dream away. You need to play with a lot of energy most of the time. And then the moments where one would normally rest a little bit, one has to play these 6 couplets. So you have to concentrate of keeping that going. Whereas these are moments at least for the audience, where they can relax, I think. So we, but you have to sort of try to make this going all the time, and to be sure that you are being understood, because otherwise the harmony changes won't be in time. So this is it's a very demanding piece in that respect. And also, what you said, there is a big, the leaps, you have to go quite high up suddenly, and so it's a pitch which demands a lot of technical command in a way also, to feel comfortable with. On the other hand, if we feel only comfortable, then we are not getting the message across. So a part of that energy which you need to play it is also part of the expression of the piece. So in a way, it's so in the end these things come together in a good performance. Well, bravo for what you did. I think, if I would have a general remark, then it would be that you should experiment a lot with making your sound more full-bodied, and experiment with how you can achieve that, how your vibrato can help that, how the place where you play on the cello. Of course, for us it's always this question of contact point. This we call tasto, so you play close to the bridge. But you can also close to the fingerboard, and then you can move the bow and go very close to the bridge. So let's say, in a way, everything we do on the cello is in between these, what is it, 5? Well, you are talking in inches, so I wouldn't know how much that is. Like 10 centimeters, yeah? So that is where everything happens. So could you just, as an experiment, where would you place, let's say, where would you say, this is the softest moment in the piece, where I really want to have this tasto sound and this going to the fingerboard? Yeah, at the very end, when we have this beautiful, gracious, it says grazioso. So in a way there, all this drama which we have heard, and all these urgent calls, pa-pam, pa-pam, are gone, and you are trying to convey a very peaceful mood. Maybe it's a good way to start here. Is it okay to start from the end, and then, so just to make sure that we have a few of these extremes, and then to see how you can sort of make them more convincing in a certain way. Yeah. So when you come in, though, you have a triplet motion in the piano. Try to be deliberately early, let's say, with your upbeat. So ya ta ti ti boy. So that you have a lot of time. Do you shift or do you stretch?
I shift.
Aha. So you shift like.
Yeah.
So some of the distance you do on the D string, and then you are there, and then you play. Could you once try more of that? You have a little bit of that rather than. Yeah. So of course you don't want to do this too much, but I feel that if you do this very well, like then I find this interval a little bit too technical, too clean, rather than. So I'm trying. It's not even so meaning give a lot of sound on the first note, a lot of vibrato and substance, so that the upper octave can be lighter, like. So. And for this, I feel you are already a little bit busy with that one, rather than playing really the F. That's better. Yeah. So try to have a good contact with the bow for the D string. I'm overdoing now. And then here air and flautando. So this idea. That's the idea, yeah. Yeah. And this motion go really to the frog. Yes, and very without any rush. Also this, so the shortness comes by lifting your bow, but not by stopping your bow, not, but. One more. That's nice. Yeah, and rhythmically, 1, 2, 3, so be very early so that the eighth note can be long. Could we start at, is that figure 9? Do you have figure 9? Yeah, would be great. So he starts on, yeah. So you were exactly together.
Yeah.
Did you notice?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's ta 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 ti 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 dam pa ta ti 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 la. So in a way, I would want you to be actually rather together with his second of the triplets rather than in between, because then you already will be late. So anyway, you know, so be as early as you possibly can.
Thought that was like a whole beat.
That was a whole beat. Great. Very, very nice. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I love the color you have then in the eighth note. So. But of course, this is only, in a way, it's only those 4 bars. Because then already there's a crescendo. And with these things, I always think, really take into account the register where you play. Meaning, when you play on a deeper string, your sound has to be warmer and fuller, because otherwise it sounds like. But and in that's also what is written. Yeah. So show us the color of the different strings. Just one more of this. Lot of air in the bow. Just actually those two bars. Yes, thank you. Very, very nice. So in this, so I think maybe if it's more comfortable to change the bow, here I think it's totally fine to do. But I try to give this dark. I mean, I have this cello has a beautiful C string. It has to be said. So it's easier. But if you vibrate. A little bit. Can you try the color of this? Because it's just about color, but also that we hear the bass going, descending. It would be nice. So. Try once this trick. Actually playing two strings at the same time and then so it's just your index finger which is doing this. So you just release. And later, which is then very, very small motion here. Yeah, just one more of the double stop, and think of this. So not too honest on the string, not like, but tasto and flautando, and use rather much bow. That's it. And try to have no accents, yeah, it's great, great, without accents. And here. So that it's very even. Yeah, it's better. Yeah, that's better. That's much better, yeah. Okay, and now with a little bit of reverb. Because you see, here is an F. And now he can't go on below, but here, yeah, so he goes even further down in a way. Do you have it, or?
Yeah.
You have it? Okay, so that's great. Yeah. Can we just hear it once? Just there? So in a way, he takes over. Yeah. So from there, when you change to the other string, you need to be even more careful that it doesn't stick out. Yeah. Okay. Now we do once more, just the very end, the whole end from figure 9. Okay, very, very good. Now we're done. Goodbye. No. Look, there is always a danger when when we see in our parts a dot on a note, and it means short, but short is of course relative. Yeah. So you have short and very short and a little bit short and just about. You know, you have so many different shorts. So in a way, the dots, they don't tell you much about the real length. But we just, because they are there, we tend to not only play short, but also play with little bow. So you know what the point I'm going to want to make. Yeah. So it's, of course, it's not, but it doesn't mean that you play.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I would even use more bow than you have. You know, your bow is that long, but your motion can be even bigger. I'm trying to overdo and not damage anything. And so sometimes your bow isn't just finished here, but you need to continue with your motion. Otherwise, you don't get this feeling of grandeur or something for the end. And another little thing here, I think you should play a little comma. So you do, because he is having an upbeat there. So if you do, we don't hear it. Yeah?
And do you actually retake? Or
I do retake, but...
Yeah, because I was experimenting with the bowing, because I can't do... I couldn't get the right attack on the up bows.
You can. You have done it many times. You've done it many times already. Why not here? You mean this?
No, on the second bow. So.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Otherwise, up. And but then I warn you, you have to watch where your bow needs to hit the string again. Otherwise, you end up doing something weird. Yeah. You literally look here. And now I'm overdoing a little bit, but that would be a possibility. Or you do. So I do retake indeed. Yeah. Could we go from the last vivace? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars. You're using. You're doing. I'm overdoing. Sorry.
Okay.
But you do.
Okay.
Yeah. And now you're a bit early, no problem. Yeah. 2, 3. And then you're a little bit quick with ta-ti, pa-pa. So take your time. 1, 2, 3, pa-pa. Yeah. It's vivace means just tempo primo. You know, in this, you're not trying to be faster than the beginning, are you?
I don't know what
No. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's better. Just and then yes, at least that much bow. Which brings us to the sound of the beginning. This one. Now, let's just experiment a little bit with, you see, you tend to do two things. You tend to play with your fingertip like that on the string. And I strongly advise, especially for something where you want to have a kind of fat, thick, creamy sound, to have more flat finger and to use just more of the flesh of your finger top. Fingertip, yeah. So that's one thing. And the other thing is that when your other fingers are up in the air while you play one finger, then your sound cannot be as full as it can be when all these fingers actually support the finger which is playing and they are sort of close. So it means your hand has more the shape of a fist, rather. And hopefully you can see that the rest of my fingers are relaxed. And I do have the second finger also on the string. Yeah. So second finger, no, the first finger, sorry. Second finger doesn't mean second finger alone. But otherwise, there is a limit to the sound you can make. So try. Ah! and show us what you did before, because it's really interesting.
Maybe something like that.
Yeah. The difference is, for where I sit, it's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, and also,
Hard to think.
it feels safer somehow. You are really in the string. Also, and let's try the first finger. This one. Can I just rearrange your hand? Yeah, and then yes. But you see, always, in a way, it sounds crazy, but actually, you had a question about the first finger. You see, I think first finger, you can actually support with the other fingers the first finger. So when it's alone, when the first finger is alone, you can actually put the other fingers sort of on top. I mean, it sounds, but you see how they are sort of piled up. Gives you more power than. That's it. Yeah. And now the other thing is that you have to make sure that you are not pinching the note between your thumb and the first finger. So, but that you are literally leaning.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's clear, I think, what I mean. So that you are really downward. Can you once do? Like this. So in a way, I would want your arm to be a bit higher, to have the feeling of that. You know, it's like you're sort of letting down your whole energy from the shoulder onwards in the string. Yeah. So if you're for your feeling, maybe you should once go very high up like this, and then relax totally into. That's what I mean. So, and you see, you have a lot of power without having to work hard.
Yeah.
It's in a way, you work less. And that's a very important thing. You need it for that sonata, you need it for the Dvorak concerto. You know, a lot of pieces where you have to, and anyway for nearly every concerto, because there you have to play really strong in front of an orchestra. So you have to find means of doing that with kind of not having to work too hard. It's not like this, but. So now let's hear the opening. Could you make sure that this is more connected?
Okay.
So we have. And then yeah. Oh, and about the tempo. Were you happy with the tempo in general?
I think so.
So for me, when I was sitting there, it could have been even a bit slower in the sense of so I think the vivace doesn't literally mean that you have to, that's sort of the beats are, but the vivace comes from this energy of but not necessarily from it to be too fast.
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit more, so that you really get that the first roll is like a kind of very huge roll, and then you're not too quick on it. But maybe could you once play just the first two bars, and you just only listen, that you know exactly when you have to enter. Yeah. So you need to somehow hear the second beat, and then and then you think 4/16.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was warning you about that. Because we had one other lesson before with this piece, and I told her, look, it's something, this rhythm is very important. Could I just demonstrate it once? I hope I do it right. So just. So it's an independent rhythm. We hear triplets, ya da 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 da, and you do what da da pa pa, da 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 da. Yeah? Sorry, you were a bit early. Was she early? You can tell.
Yes, I have to shave off a tree.
Yeah, a little bit, huh? Yeah. But he's quick with reacting, you see. So, okay. La-ta-ta, la-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. 1, 2, 3. Good. Good. Okay, very nice. I just let you do it once more because now something was improving a lot, which was the end of the notes.
Okay.
You were more aware, like it took just a few times. So off, off. So this off always gives you the energy for the next entry. Mm-hmm. And if you really feel that, then you don't have to play that loud in a way, because the energy will be there from your motions and from what you have, or what your, and from the accuracy of your rhythm and your articulation, but not so much of making your loudest sound all the time. Yeah? One, two, three. One. Did you notice?
Yeah.
You were a bit early?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the rhythmical stability which, where I think you really can still improve it.
Yeah.
And so check it for yourself that you are really sure. So you need to, you lead in a way a different life from this triplet triolet life. So you have bum 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 bum, and you're bum 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 bum. So quite independent, and you tend to be a little bit early.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, but now we come, I think the first printed piano, is that right, Andrew, is at figure 1? Is it afterwards only? Here. There's no printed piano. Oh, okay. Okay, can you treat it as a piano? Okay. Yeah. Oh, only there then. Yeah, he has it much later. Yeah. Okay. Can we go once more from the forte when she is high up? So that's after like 8 bars. Poppy. When she does. I just don't want to let you go until this is. So you see when you do. It's also, I would look for a little bit more separation. And not. So both notes have a clear articulation. One more go. Look, it's just this sound on the C string. I know, I mean, you're not the most important person maybe here, or your voice, but in a way, this bass, we need it. Yeah. So it's a bit misleading, the fact that it's piano. It says piano. Here it's obviously, but then show us the sonority of the C string. I don't know, do you go straight away on the C string? I do the same, yeah. So all these notes, not surprise here, yeah. Could we just go from actually there when she starts? Stay piano. Yeah, that's better. Stay in the string. Also example. So I just, you have to get away from doing, but try to involve your whole body for making the sound. So not just your arm going back and forth, but you, because in a way you want to phrase it even like. So here I wouldn't be too careful with doing da-ya-ya-ya, but I would play pretty much like double stops and trioles. And then later, of course, when you here you can't do. So that here, yes, yeah. But here I would just advise to not do that too much. And I wondered whether there is not one leap too much. So because you're doing, it's like catching flies or something. So maybe once you do a safe, or you start or just one leap. But if you do 2 and 3, that's maybe a bit much. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Bravo, very well done.